All right, so I want to show you guys something today. Where are we in the cycle of Vancouver real estate? A lot of the best investors out there don't use technical indicators to find out when they're going to buy into the market. Instead, what they do is they look at market sentiment. How is everybody else feeling about where we are right now? And I'm going to do the opposite of that. I'm going to do the exact opposite of that, right? The 90-10 rule. 90% of people are going to lose money in the stock market, maybe not real estate, but in the stock market. The 90-10 rule seems to transfer over well into every industry. 10% of realtors make all the money, 90% fail. Same thing in financial markets. 90% fail, 10% make all the money. So if you just find out what the 90% are doing and then do the exact opposite of that, your chances of profiting are 90%. So I've got pulled up here the psychology of a market cycle. This is the Wall Street cheat sheet. Now, if you go back and you look at any market cycle top, from Bitcoin to stocks to real estate to whatever it is, they all kind of graph out very similar to this. And the reason why that is, even though all of the times are very different, is because of the emotions human beings are feeling during that time period while it's happening. So if we just take a look at this graph and we try to graph out the progression of these emotions over what has happened in the last couple of years, hope a recovery is possible. I would say that is coming out of the lockdowns of 2020. This is when we started cutting rates and prices started going up. Optimism, this rally is real. Maybe the whole world isn't coming to a collapse, right? Belief, that's Bank of Canada saying, hey, we plan on keeping rates low for the foreseeable future. Now everybody gets invested. Everybody starts making money. I'm going to buy more. I'm going to over leverage myself. I'm going to whatever. I'm a genius. We're all going to be rich. Everybody starts buying. And then in February 2022, townhomes drop $150K in 1 week across Langley, Abbotsford, Surrey, the Fraser Valley. And then there's this lull where people are like, okay, maybe we're going to continue our way up. It's just we're cooling off right now, whatever. And then prices kind of didn't really do much for 2 months into May. And then we had this massive drop off in price throughout the summer, all the way till the end of the year. And then come basically November, December 2022, people were just dumping their properties. There was a sale in Abbotsford, detached home, subdividable lot, sold for $850K in November of 2022. I'll never forget that sale because that is a $1.2 million home today. So that, in my opinion, was capitulation, right? Is it possible that capitulation hasn't happened yet and maybe we have longer to go on this ride? Possible. However, in my opinion, we've experienced anger, right? Why did the government allow this to happen, right? I'm sure we've all heard somebody say exactly this at this point in the market cycle, right? Bank of Canada said they're going to keep rates low for the next couple of years, and then they jacked them up 500 basis points. Why did the government allow this to happen, right? People were protesting about getting their deposits back in Ontario, about pre-construction homes they bought. Why did the government allow this to happen, right? So if we look at this chart, in my opinion, all of these emotions, everything up from capitulation we've experienced, for sure, right? The argument is, have we experienced these two? In my opinion, we have, because I've seen this, right? Maybe not on a large scale, but I've seen this and I've seen this. So if we take this chart and we overlay it over where we are in real estate, let's take a look. So Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver. All right, here we are. This is the HPI. So it kind of smooths out the inconsistencies in the chart, and it's also a lagging indicator. So it's never going to line up perfectly with, say, the S&P 500 index. But if we take a look at this, right, here's the blow off top. I would say this was complacency somewhere up here, right? Like March 2022 would have been complacency. And then we saw the massive drop off. And then right around here was capitulation. Anger would have been down here. Why did the government allow this to happen? And then in the spring, we started rallying. We hit a top and we came back down. And now, as of late, we've been rallying again. So if we look at this chart, right, this would have been spring of 2023. We started rallying. We hit a top. We came back down. And now we could be rallying again, right? And maybe at the end of spring 2024, we hit another temporary top and prices start continuing back down until we see some rate cuts. Who knows how long from here to here is going to take? Maybe we see some rate cuts. Prices start going back up. Depression. This is a sucker's rally, et cetera, and the whole cycle repeats, right? So it looks like we've just started that uptick again. Maybe we come over here, we top out, we roll back over. And again, I know this doesn't transfer over directly into real estate. A lot of people are going to say this is a stock market chart. Why are you, relating it to real estate? And I get that there's more variables in play with real estate, like the local incomes in the area and inventory supply levels. But again, it's human emotion that moves markets more than anything else, right? Why were prices lower in December 2022, right? Or summer 2022 even, when rates were also like 2% lower? How is it prices were lower back here when rates were also like 2% lower or 1.5% lower or whatever it is? And rates are higher and prices are higher today. It's because of the human emotions that were happening at this time. People were way more scared back then than they are today. So in my opinion, we are now on the back end of this cycle, right? We don't know how long it's going to take, but in my opinion, I think it's riskier if you are a first-time home buyer to wait to buy than it is to just buy. It's riskier to wait for a better deal at this point, because even if a better deal comes along, it's not going to be like what happened at the start of 2022. Prices aren't going to drop 20, 30%, or likely not going to drop 20, 30%. If you get a better deal, it might be 5%, it might be 8% or something like that, which would be nice. But on the flip side of that, prices could go up 5 to 8%, right? And I'd rather own property that's gone down in price than not own property and now the market's gone up in price, because that's a really bad spot to be in. It's an emotional spot to be in. You're conflicted. You're arguing with yourself saying, well, I don't want to buy right now because I could have bought a month ago and prices were 30 grand cheaper. Oh, now it's 40 grand more expensive. Well, I'm not going to buy 40 grand more expensive because it was just only 30 grand more expensive. Now it's 50 grand more expensive. Now it's 60 grand. You get what I'm saying? You're going to constantly be, having that negotiation in your head. Should I buy now when I could have bought cheaper? Whereas if you just buy and the prices go down, then you just hold it and you just wait. So anyways, I thought that was super interesting. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe, like the video. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.